Hi Earthlings, I'm Trice, and in this video I am going to showcase the 7 differences between the rich and the poor. And you know something fabulous about it? It has almost absolutely nothing to do with what you're born with, what you look like. It has to do with how you think. And this is not me being a Pollyanna girl. This is not me trying to be like, well, wouldn't it be nice? I've been a financial planner for over a decade. And through that time, something magical became revealed to me. The people that were becoming successful weren't necessarily the people with the greatest jobs. I had clients that would earn hundreds and hundreds of thousands a year and be broke. And no, they weren't taking fancy trips to Paris. It just evaporated. They couldn't hold on to the money because they were missing one of these 7 mental habits. And on the flip side, I had a young lady, manager of a small, teeny natural grocery store in Colorado, who earned $40,000. And every year, like clockwork, she would increase her net worth by over $20,000. And that is because the rich think differently. So grab your pen and let's take the quiz together. I'm going to show you where my shortcomings came, because once you see them, it's just thinking. You can change how you think. The first thinking pattern of the rich versus the poor is the rich are persistent. Now, how do you know if you got persistence or not? Angela Duckworth created this grit test, and I will leave the link in the description below. And she gave it to cadets at West Point entering into the boot camp training thing. Before they went through the course, she had them take this test. And she could predict the kids that would succeed and the kids that would not. And it wasn't due to their buffness or their lineage of all their fathers being soldiers. It had to do with how well they handled obstacles. I do a lot of manifestation videos on my channel, and a big thing that I hear from subscribers coming in is like, well, I tried it. I tried manifesting money in 24 hours and it just didn't show up. And I'm like, guys, try again. Just because something doesn't happen on the first time does not mean it's not meant to happen. It means you have to put out different energy. You have to try different things. I used to think I was a girl that had no persistence. My spirit animal would be a butterfly, hopping from one flower to another. I was wrong. I had to find the things that would captivate my attention, but also had this magical little formula to them. They had a beginning, a middle, and the end. I would never do well trying to climb the corporate ladder. It would look like I'm not persistent, but really it's too structured for me. So if that resonates with you, you might be much more persistent than you think. And to cultivate more persistence in you, you have to honor your own truth. Like Trice loves change, but all the persistence in the world isn't going to mean one damn thing if you don't have this. The rich believe things are possible for them, that they can be rich, that things will work out in their favor, as contrary to the poor people that think the deck is stacked against them. It's not possible for me. I never grew up in the right circumstances. A really common thing that people in New York cannot believe is that they'll ever be able to own their own apartment. In my practice, I see this over and over and over, but I think to myself, heck, I did it, and I'm not any smarter than you, and I don't have a fancier job than you. Of course you can do it. So I had these clients that were foregoing this possibility of ever owning their apartment because they never thought it was possible. And I said, well, let's just suspend belief and play a game, and we have nothing to lose. What's the worst that can happen? We could end up with a lot of savings. And so they wanted it so bad. They borrowed my belief, and we started saving for a down payment, $140,000 down payment, with a change on their kitchen table. In less than 2 years, they had the $140,000 and bought a 3-bedroom, 2-bath apartment in Manhattan. And they would have never started that journey if I hadn't fanned the flame of belief. You don't have to believe it fully in your heart. You just have to fake it till you make it. Your belief about your reality will create and shape your reality. This one is so frickin'ly simple, and the poor people just forget to do it. The third different thinking pattern rich versus poor, is self-worth. The rich feel like they are entitled to it all. Now, does that make you cringe? Those bloodsuckers! I know it used to make me feel that way until my consciousness exposed it as a truth of my own limited thinking. Yes, there are greedy rich people, but there's greedy poor people too. How did I start to see how I wasn't claiming my own value? It was at my uncle's funeral. And my uncle has one beautiful daughter, and her husband, that man was born entitled. He feels like the world was just here to give him stuff. And that always super irritated me. And when my uncle passed, he had lots of fancy things. He had a cigar collection. So he asked my aunt if he could have it. And of course she's like, here, can I have the grill? Sure, here. And she was giving them all these things. And she wanted to give him all these things. And he was happy to take them. And it was rubbing me the wrong way. When I really reflected and meditated on it, I was like, I'm jealous. Why can things be so easy for him and not so easy for me? And the truth is, they can just be as easy for me. But I had a mental block that was greedy, that I was taking stuff. It took me 6 years to take a couple of my uncle's golf clubs, even though we were the exact same height and we both loved golf and he would love for me to have them and they were just sitting in the garage. Can you resonate? Can you see the error in this thinking? My brother-in-law was not stealing my uncle's stuff. He was happily enjoying the fruits of his labor and celebrating that they were coming to him so easily. And the rich people do this all the time. And it feels unfair. It can be shifted and changed. So if you had this money block like I did, I treated it like I treat compliments. When somebody gives you a compliment, oh, you look so beautiful today, you don't say, no, I don't, I look like trash. You just say thank you. So when somebody would start to give me something, like my friend gave me this ring, this is an $18,000 ring, I said, thank you. Now, was it awkward? Did it make me feel uncomfortable in the beginning? Absolutely. Because I was raised the opposite. Things shouldn't come easily is a taught belief. That's all it is. It does not mean it's true. It's a taught belief. And it does not make you a bad person to accept things easily. I'm curious, sound off in the comments below if you have ever had a hang up with claiming your value, the ability to charge market rate for your services. If you are charging less than market rate for your services or always giving them away for free, it is a teaching, an old teaching that is not true, that somehow you're a greedy, evil person if you do that. This next one is so freaking easy, but it trips most people up. The fourth different way of thinking between the rich and the poor is rich people know what they want. That's pretty self-explanatory, guys. Rich people know exactly what they want in crystal clear detail. Even if it hasn't been invented yet, they can see it in their mind. Elon Musk, he wants colonies on Mars. He clearly can see what he wants to create before it is created. Contrast this to people that are struggling financially. I had this client, she's $50,000 in credit card debt, $800 in credit card fees each month. Her only dream and desire was to be credit card debt free. But now that that's becoming a reality, and in a few months she'll be there, I'm like, okay, what else do you want? And her mind is a total blank because she never even thought it was possible to get out of that station. If it's easy for you to know what you want, great, you're already there. If it's not easy, this is what I tell my clients. Dream bigger. That is literally the action step that I give them. What is your wildest fantasy? Remove all barriers of probability, possibility, because the only thing that will limit you is your mind. I have been manifesting my dream apartment, my mansion, which was 1,800 square feet, but I've just reduced it to 1,500 square feet after cleaning my mother's house. And I was telling this and sharing this with my friend, and she started laughing at me. She's like, oh yeah, right. Keep dreaming, Trice. And I could tell just in that conversation, she will never live in her 1,500 square foot mansion because she won't even dare to dream it's possible for her. So don't let that happen to you. If you're into the law of attraction, you know how essential that is to getting what you want. And the rich do it all the freaking time. This next thinking pattern creates the most destruction. This one's like a freebie. You can do it instantly. The sixth thinking pattern is rich people choose to be wealthy, and poor people or financially trapped people think it would be nice to be wealthy. Think of it as something really simple. I am choosing to have cake for dinner. That means I am probably going to go to the store or make a cake or do something that makes that transpire. Or phone a friend, something, because I have made a decision. I've put energy and a statement of declaration about something that is going to happen because I choose it. Now this one, even though it's simple to choose it, can be tangled because the thinking patterns are connected. If I don't believe I can be wealthy, am I going to choose to be wealthy? Probably not. I'm going to start thinking, oh, those lucky bastards. So if you want it, you can have it, but you have to claim it. I always say all subjects are the same subject, and it might be easier to see this one on relationships. I was the type of girl who never, ever, ever, ever thought I wanted to get married. Then one day, I realized that my opinion had changed and I totally wanted to get married. So I made a declaration. I'm like, I'm taking applications for husbands. I'm going to have a wife in training birthday party, because I was claiming what I wanted and then started putting out that intention, that vibration. Your actions are different when you choose your destiny. And that makes all the difference in the world. Even with all that, this last thinking pattern is so insanely powerful that could leave you filled with regret and despair on your deathbed. The last different thinking pattern between the rich and the poor is this 4-letter word called fear. And the sneaky problem with fear is it really doesn't go away. It doesn't go away for the rich people, and it doesn't go away for the poor people. The rich have found a way to walk through it, to put on their courage suit and make their dreams materialize. I have a client who wants to have a very successful business, and she's been working on it for quite some time, but she has this hard time with selling her services and charging money because she's afraid. Fear keeps us in our comfort zone. Fear keeps us poor. So if you want to get richer, don't expect that fear to go away. Because it's not going to. What I do is I Oreo cookie it. What that means is I do something nice for myself, manicure, do the hard thing, then do something nice for me immediately after. Go get a massage. It used to be hard for me to pitch clients. The only reason it got easier is because I had more and more experience and more success stories, and that built the confidence in me. That's the thing about confidence. It comes from doing, not the other way around. I'll wait till I get the confidence, then I'll make the call. And then I tell myself this other eternal truth. I imagine myself on my deathbed. Am I going to be happy that I'm leaving? When I really get myself to that picture in that place, it's not the things that I've done or accomplished that haunt me. It's the things that I did not try. I want to evolve and live my highest version of myself here on earth. That's what I came to do. That's what rich people are doing. That's what money allows them to do, to live to the fullest of expression of themselves without restraint, without restrictions. Wouldn't that feel so good? So this is the riddle you have to ask yourself. For that prize of living to my highest, fullest potential with no restrictions, I want to go to Tahiti right now? Done. I want to take 10 of my closest friends? Done. Am I willing to pay the price and walk through the wall of fear?